Hello again, Tone Deaf Monk. Hey, I'm reshooting this video because I sounded and looked a little funny because I was talking away, but none of the audio worked. So here we go again. I just did another video for the 7Hz Sonus, and in that video I was talking good things about the ECCI YST02 and how in its stock form it kicked its ass. Now, in its modified form, it's pretty cool. Now, you're going to need two things to do this mod. You're going to need 4 by 3 millimeter high density foams, 2, and some micropore tape. That is it. Super simple, super easy, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And then I'm going to talk about how it sounded. Okay, let me flip this around. Okay, here we go. So there is a little mesh grill, right? Silver grill. Wow, I can't, it's hard to do this one looking like this. Anyway, let's take a look at the other one. I'll show you that. There's a little mesh grill, okay, using tweezers. You're basically gonna just pry up that little teeny grill and pull it off. Underneath, you are going to find a little balanced armature tube with a little filter on top. Now, what I found best was I just stuck a 4 by 3 high density foam to the middle of that little mesh grill with a filter underneath, and I basically shove it back into the nozzle, and the sticky will still stick to that mesh down. If it doesn't, you could maybe do a little bit of glue, but I don't really think so. It works perfectly fine. It's now the third time I've had it off. Oops, sorry about that. So that is the mod for the nozzle. And for the second part of this, I have a 3 millimeter by 3 millimeter micropore piece of tape, and I simply put that over top of the front nozzle. And the front nozzle is the small hole closest to the nozzle itself. So there's a bigger hole and a smaller hole, and you're just going to cover that up. Okay? Right. So now we basically have a nozzle with underneath will be that metal mesh and the factory tuning filter under that. And under that, the only thing we've added is that 4 by 3 high density foam. And on the front nozzle vent, that micropore tape. Let me pull up a stock graph, and I'll pull up and I went through a whole gamut of different playing arounds. Filters, many different filters, impedance adapters, you name it, to get to this point. And I got brave and decided just to pull up that little mesh and measured it. But more importantly, listen to it to see what the difference was making here. Okay, I'm back. After much playing around and listening, the EA500, when it came out and playing around, and then Paul Wasabi did the vent mod, and then it just led to a whole new fun of that IM. It's, I have it. I love it. It's on my daily, paired to a ISN cable that is never leaving. I love it. On my go, the fit, everything is fantastic. I said in my review of the ECCI YST02, had vibes of that. It had the specialness of that. It had that in stock form. I just shot the video for the Sonus 7 Hertz, and what I thought on that was, 1+1, this kicks its ass. Honestly, it does. In every way. Now modified. Oh, yes. And easy to do. Really easy to do. So my final form. So if you compare this with a warm source, if you have a pure copper cable, highly recommended. If you have final E tips, or in this case, I'm using DRUGSTORE candy tips. They're a narrow bore. There's a little bit of sibilance if you use a wide bore, but these killed it for me. Absolutely did. I normally use JVC spiral dots. These did a wonderful job. How does it sound with this? Well, actually, let's talk about just my final configuration was the micro pore tape on the nozzle vent, and a 4x3mm high density foam underneath the screen. Just lifted up the screen, put it around the BA tube, and put the screen back down. Honestly, 2 minutes. The whole mod is super, super easy and cheap. And I'll put the links of the stuff that I used in the video. How does it sound? Well, drums with the micropore tape mod, like the EA500, it brings up the sub bass, but it's still fast, punchy, and tight. The EA500 did that as well, but you lost a little bit of resolution in the top end. And so a lot of people weren't going to do the micropore tape mod because of that. Well, I'm happy to say that the EST Y02, because of that extra BA, doesn't have that issue. Bass is phenomenal, punchy, tight, love it. Texture and resolution in the bass. But the mids, male vocals, female vocals, spot on, clean, articulate, detailed. Changing the tuning, and again, I'll punch up that graph of the final tuning with that. Wonderful, really well done. The highs, because of the more relaxed pina gain, it goes up slowly, and then it peaks. Gives you lots of the vocals. It really puts attention to that, and still gives you the sparkly twinklies in the high end. It makes instruments sound great. It makes them sound natural and correct. Staging, dynamics, all. This is a $79 IM. Yeah. Yeah. I'm never going to use that stupid word, punches well above its price. It's $79. If you can get it on sale for the $59, even better. It's a wonderful IM. If you used wide bore tips and you really dialed it up, what I found, the highs could get a bit spicy. But with the narrow bore tips, it really tamed it down, and it just added really nice details. I'm a treble sensitive person. I have no problem at, I don't know, what was I at on the X Duo? I was at 40 on turbo mode, so 2 watts of power. It was, dialed for sure. in a comparison, the versus the retuned EA500, the EA500s would still had, it was a warmer tonality than this retuned YST-02. The YST-02 has cleaner vocals, more articulate instruments, just as good of stage, if not better, actually, than the EA500. Pretty fantastic. I highly recommend you give it a go. It's not terribly expensive, and it's a wonderful IAM. Even in its stock form, it was pretty damn good that I liked it a lot. In its retuned form, absolutely goo goo gaga. This is Tone Deaf Monk. I am having fun. I'm thanking you for watching my videos. If you have a passion for audio and this hobby like I do, I don't mind spending the time and the effort to share this with you. That's why I'm here for, to bring awareness to stuff like this. This is what drives me. Not the $5,000 IAMs. I love listening to those. Ever so grateful to get a chance to do so. But this is what really turns my crank. Finding the special hidden gems. And ECCI, YST-02, definitely there. Thank you.